So it's March 10th, about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm just about to leave for work. It's going to be minus 18 wind chill, so I'm going to freeze my ass off. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. I don't know if I mentioned before, but over the weekend I called the cops because my neighbor was getting beaten and they didn't come, so that was kind of shitty. I treated myself for a bacterial vaginosis and a yeast infection. So I got a phone call from my doctor's office asking me to come in to be treated for it. And I was so frustrated because I'd already been there for an hour and a half waiting. And he called me in before the test results were even there. So he was going to call me in just to lie to me. And I waited an hour and a half in that fucking waiting room, just reliving all the fucking lies and just the fight to get proper treatment, and just the memories of my ear infections and my pink eye and going there, and my chest infections and going there and complaining about these things and only getting psych meds, refills. I got to the point where I had 3 months worth of my psych meds and sleeping pills and clonazepams and nothing to do with actually physically treating me. So after a year of going to this doctor, he figures out I have asthma, and I got that on recording. Maybe I'll just clip it, but fuck, that pissed me off. So I've had a lot of reinforcement lately that I really need to leave, and I'm just happy that today I'm not all drugged out and I've treated myself and I'm ready to go back to work and move on with my life and do what I need to do to try to get out of this province, away from these doctors, and see if a blank screen, if I walk in, if I could actually get proper treatment and not be living off horse dewormer that is killing my heart and my lungs and my kidneys. And I've been doing this for 2 years, and it's just reinforced that I really, really need to leave. So I need a time machine. So anybody out there that built themselves a little time machine that we can skip 3 months, so I can have the time to bank up the money and the time that I'll need to spend. I need the money to pay my rent here because of the stupid court order. I can't just up and leave. I don't know if the words are going to change. I don't know if I'm going to go to a blank screen or if I'm going to go save up all this money, work all this way to go to another province just to find out the words are still on the fucking screen. So that part is really stressing me out. I hate the study. I hate living in the conditions of this fucking study. I hate the doctors that caused this study. All I want is out. All I want is an honest conversation with the doctor, and I've never had that. I've never had a procedure that was actually the procedure they say it was. It's always been druggings or abortions or cutting babies out of me, telling me that I have cancer, telling me that I have, there was like a good year that I thought I was going to die cancer because of how many times. But then, it's just lies. It was me getting drugged and raped and getting abortions. And me working 2 jobs to put food on the table for 3 boys. And that's what I did. I worked. I didn't go out and use drugs. I had nobody on my call display. It's just living these 2 different lives. It's just torn me up. And doing it for 5 years has just, I don't believe I've come to the point where I'm accepting that when I go in to get help that I won't get it, that I'm going to get treated like shit because of the words on the screen. And I think that's a horrible thing to have to accept. And I'm not that person, and I think I've survived enough in my fucking lifetime, and I gave my life to a study. And it took 33 lives, this fucking study. And they choose death every fucking time over an honest conversation. So I'm just at the point where I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to move on with my life, and I need to be healthy to do so. I need a doctor that could actually treat me and take the x-rays and take the tests I need to come back as they are, not lies on the screen. Because when I took that chest x-ray, and I saw my chest, and I saw that big zigzag through my chest, I knew the meds aren't working. They're not killing the bigger ones. I may have kill-offs, but I'm going to die of a parasite infection I got because somewhere in my mind I decided that this man that just pushed me down the mountain and gave me a coat hanger abortion and burned my baby, and my dog eats the fucking bones out of the fire. And I find some bones and I confront Darcy with it, and he completely silent. And so I'm taking the dog for a walk, and it shits out these bones, so I eat the bones and try to get myself in the hospital. And that night, before I was able to go to the hospital, he fucking coat hanger abortioned me again. And there was a baby in the wall, and that baby lived for like 3 days that he was hiding. And I could hear it cry. And just to think to myself that, you know, I went to a hospital with baby bones in my stomach telling them that, you know, I need to be put in the hospital. And I wanted time to be able to talk to somebody and tell them that Darcy has the baby in the trailer. It's in the wall. He hid it where the little electrical box is. And there was no way that I was able to do that with Darcy right beside me. And so finally he went out to the outside, like he went to go talk to somebody, and I'm like, oh, I need to go out for a smoke. So I figure I could go and find this. But he moved the fucking truck, and I couldn't find where he'd parked. So I couldn't come back with the baby. So I'm like trying to get this ultrasound, and I'm moving her ultrasound thing up to my stomach, so hopefully she'd find these baby bones. And I ended up getting released and treated like shit, because in 2009 there was a baby that ended up there. And I think about that, and I think, well, that would have been like another lie. That would have been when I was living in the camper and my mom told them that I was a drug addict whore and that I was out partying all the time. And yeah, so what? Dr. almost told me that I had endometriosis, I do believe that time. And so yeah, now I have a baby out there that was born in 2009. I have a baby out there that was born in 2000. I have a baby out there that was born in 2001, 2004. There's another baby in between that. And I go to a hospital because I'm mourning the loss of these children and not being able to fully comprehend why the fuck they could lie to me, cut babies out of me, and tell me I'm delusional. And when I talk about it, they drug me in my sleep, and I go out of these hospitals and I'm withdrawing and I'm losing my fucking mind. And all these flashbacks of what Darcy did and what my mother's done to me and what my father's done to me and what the doctors have done to me all come back, and I live in this violence and I act out, and I'm so tired of being that person. And when I know, when I'm not on antipsychotics and not all drugged out and I'm doing good on my own and I'm working and I'm making money, and it's not something they want because that means I'm credible. But that's always what I've done after every single drugging. I don't know. This was supposed to be a short video, but this is where I'm at this morning, and I just need to get the fuck out of Dodge.